Yo, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. We greatly appreciate you guys being here as always. Today, we're going to talk about a pretty interesting topic, and that is questing in New World. We touched on this a little bit in our latest podcast, so if you haven't seen that, make sure you go check that out. But today, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this topic and talk about the questing. So first, let's go over this really quick over here on newworld.com so we can catch you guys up in case you didn't watch the last episode or listen to the last episode of the podcast. New World released a update on quest design blog post over on their website, newworld.com. And in there, it talks about their vision for quests. So they released 4 key pillars that drive their vision for quests. So number 1 is they want to give players identity and purpose. So with that, it says they want players to understand their role within the cataclysmic events unfolding across Aeternum while learning how to navigate New World's core systems and empowering them to experiment and discover which skills, activities, and gear best fits their play style. So let's pause right there for a second. Red, I want to get your thoughts on this first key pillar right here. Give players identity and purpose, and then kind of the blur behind that. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a step in the right direction for the questing system of New World?
For sure. I mean, one of the main purposes of a storyline or, some sort of a main quest line is to help the character know why they're there, what they're trying to do, what their role is, and Aeternum. And I think that that's very vital for a lot of people, especially those people that enjoy PvE and lore, to know the purpose of what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So the second point that they make here is their second key pillar here is to immerse players in Aeternum, which I think is obviously a very important one as well. So it says the main story quest line guides players through each of the island's regions and offers opportunities to explore the lore of Aeternum through uncovering ancient secrets, learning about the enemy groups and occupying the land, which I think is very good, and meeting powerful friends and enemies as you learn that not all is as it seems on the surface of this new and mystical world. So for me, this is a big one for me because I know in the preview event the main story was lacking quite a bit, and in order to get players immersed into the game and immersed into the lore of the game, questing is a fantastic way to do that, probably the best way to do that, I think, especially like running down a main story. So to have them pinpoint this, that they want to immerse players in there and basically through the main quest line that's going to guide players through each of the region, I think that's amazing, man. What do you think about this piece of their pillars?
Yeah, I mean, again, very vital for pushing people along through the leveling process, as well as creating identity, creating purpose. Quest lines and progression go hand in hand, man. And I think a good main quest line gets you to max level for the most part.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's how you push the lore of the game, which has been lacking. That was something that was severely lacking during the preview event as well. So it's nice to see that they're going to be pushing that forward with the main storyline. And then, of course, we know there's expeditions and other things that are going to push that forward as well. So far, so good, man. So the third pillar here says provide consistent activities for players, which is another key to what they were lacking in the preview. Because during the preview, there was things to do, but there weren't like consistent quests you could go do that felt like they ran smoothly from quest to quest. There wasn't like the progression kind of felt a little bit off at times whenever you were trying to level. So provide consistent activities for players. It just says that they want the journey from to level 60 and all the way to in-game content, or excuse me, as they wash up on the shores through level 60, which is in-game content. They want players to feel like they have an active objective to complete in a series of ongoing story quests as they strive to make their mark on Aeternum. So I know this is a little off-putting for a lot of players because a lot of players wanted this to be a sandbox, but I think at this point we're moved way past that now. It's clearly a theme park. We have to move past the sandbox thing, and now we are going to be completing quests, story quests, to uncover more secrets of Aeternum and to progress in the game. So this should provide us with consistent activities from start to finish. So I think that's great. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, I couldn't agree more, dude. It's got to happen. One of the problems I think with progression in an MMO is if it ever hits a lull or becomes repetitive or feels like maybe too much of a chore, then you're going to lose some people just in general. Generally, I don't think a lot. Not everybody can be hardcore. A lot of casual people enjoy MMOs too. And if your leveling process becomes to where you are having to look for stuff to do to level, or create create an experience versus it be curated, I think a lot of people get discouraged and leave. Now, I'm an old school MMO guy. I love mob grinding and camp grinding and all of those things, but I know a lot of people don't like them. So I'm glad that New World hopefully will provide both, right? The main story quest line that can keep people entertained and give them stuff to do. But I also hope that they keep some aspect of, going out and just grinding for XP, because I enjoy that as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on that topic for sure. I think the more ways to progress, the better. And hopefully the main storyline provides a lot of value and a lot of fun, but isn't like the only thing that you have to do, so that there's other things to do, which it sounds like that's what they're trying to do, is provide consistent activities for players at all times, kind of through questing and hopefully through other means as well. So the last pillar here is they want to highlight special moments and celebrate progression. So that just means that this is actually a pretty important one here, I think. So it says they're taking players to distinct areas and points of interest across the land, which you and I have talked so many times about how awesome the land is of Aeternum and how unique it is. So to direct you to those areas so that you can go explore and see those through a quest is pretty good, I think. And then adding climactic moments to unique quests anchored in lore and unlocking both important items and the secrets of Aeternum are all key to designing and updating the main story quest. So I think that's a pretty important one as well. It pushes you around Aeternum, and hopefully in more of a fashion that makes sense instead of just a scattered fashion all across the world, which I think there was a little bit of that during the preview too. So hopefully it's a little bit more streamlined now.
Yeah, I agree. The storyline hopefully provides more cinematic value. Hopefully we get to see some more cutscenes.
That'd be awesome.
As far as climactic things go, I hope there is a big punch in the face when it comes to the storyline, or a big twist in the plot of who we are and why we're here and what we're doing on Aeternum and what the corruption is or what the Azoth is. I look forward to see what those things are, and hopefully the new additions to the quest line provide those pieces of lore, because I'm excited to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of to wrap this thing up here, we'll talk about what they've done so far to try to improve the questing experience. I have some of the recent changes listed here, and they talk about quest variety and new objectives. So they have restructured their zones for narrative flow. They've improved the starting experience, which I think was pretty important because it wasn't that great during the preview. So now the way you acquire the Azoth staff, which is a very important item in the game, one of the main things you need to do during the story, the way you get that has been revamped. They've added voiceover and improved dialogue, which is a huge one. Introduced new characters, regions, and enemies. Added quests for unique weapons and armor. So they've already done a lot in the terms of questing. So to wrap this thing up here, Red, I just kind of wanted to ask you, man, what makes a good questing experience for you, in your opinion, and what do you hope to see as this thing progresses and as this unfolds? What kind of questing or what kind of experience do you hope to get from New World from the questing?
Well, I think variety is a big thing. I don't want to be doing the same fetch quest for 60 levels. I think that can get old real quick. So hopefully there's some sort of variety in the main storyline and the questing. Maybe not all of it's questing. Maybe some of it is tied into the expeditions. Maybe, as the main storyline progresses, it kind of drags you through a lot of the expeditions as you're leveling to kind of, introduce you to those, as well as, get you accustomed to expeditions, what they look like, how they are. Also, and hopefully they introduce, a lot of the aspects or pieces of crafting, gathering. Hopefully they can tie something like that into the new or main storyline. Maybe housing, explanation of housing, and buying your first house and tying that in. I think that main quest line should really get everybody ready for end game, or introduce you to all the systems within the game to make you a competent player of New World. And hopefully they can do that, as well as tell us what's up, dude. What's going on in Aeternum? That's
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And one thing I want to add to that too is that I want to feel emotionally attached to some of the characters in the game. There's no better feeling to me that, like immersion wise, whenever I'm playing a game and I get really attached to a character and then something crazy happens, potentially they get killed off or something crazy like that happens. I think there's other MMOs that have done a great job with that, helping you feel emotionally attached and feel attached just to the game, to the lore, to the characters. And it sounds like they're stepping in that direction with the voiceover and the improved dialogue. So hopefully we get some of that and we can really kind of immerse ourselves in Aeternum. Because I do enjoy that in games. If I can get really immersed, it just makes the rest of the game that much more fun, knowing kind of why I'm going to do something, and if I'm really attached like an NPC or whatever. So hopefully there's some funny dialogue in there, some stuff that's really good and you know, a little quirky or whatever. I hope that they add some of that stuff in too.
And I'll do you one better, dude. I want to be emotionally attached to my character. I want to know why I'm a soul warden and
yeah.
And, you know, I do feel like, and maybe they'll prove me wrong, that when a classless system, when you're just kind of tied to whatever weapon choices you are making, I think it can be pretty difficult, man, because I can't think of a big MMO off the top of my head that doesn't have some sort of class to identify with, Death Knight or a Warden or Templar or whatever. You know, those are big points for players. So we'll see if they can pull that off in a weapon or in a classless system in the main storyline, helping me feel like a soul warden is a awesome, cool thing.
Yeah, I hope so. And just for the record, I like the classless system a whole lot. So
yeah,
let's
you're
just
a survival
stick with that.
guy.
Okay, I really enjoy that. So let's stay there. I don't want to have an alt, but that's for another video. I think we're about done here, man. You have anything else you want to add?
You don't have to have alts, dude. Look, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 11. You can be every class. It's cool.
Yo, listen, man. I like the way New World's set up right now. I like it a lot. Let's not change that part of the game.
It's another video, Bordy.
It's another video. Yeah. All right. You have anything else to add about the questing experience?
No, man. I'm excited to play it. I'm ready to again get in there, find out what's going on at Aeternum. Why am I here?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you guys so much, as always, for being here. We appreciate you more than you know. We recently passed 500 subs, which was a huge milestone for us. We passed that. Blue passed it recently. So thank you guys so much for all of your supports. And if you're new here, if you're not already subbed, please make sure to hit the subscription button and ring the notification bell, because we post videos 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. CST. Yes. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys and have a good one.